Welcome to the Hard Knocks Guitar Shop. My name's Will Kelly. I'm a monthly columnist for Vintage Guitar Magazine. I'm a guitar builder and just a general all-around guitar geek. So this video is a result of a special request from some of my viewers that wanted to see how a truss rod is adjusted. Now, with all apologies to the guys at Groon's Repair Shop in Nashville, or some of Freddie Walecki's guys at Westwood Music in LA. We all have our different ways of doing things, but there are several general steps along the way that make good common sense and help you take care of your instrument well. So let's get going, okay? There's two main types of truss rod access, and it's based upon the style or model of guitar. There's the Gibson style, which has a cavity usually hidden under a plate. The Fender style, which generally speaking is an open cavity either up here at the nut or in some vintage models down here by the base of the neck. Either way, the main rule you need to remember is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Okay? That's how most truss rods, unless you're talking about Eastern European block, Polish made back in the Cold War days, that's how you're going to figure out which way tightens, which way loosens. When you're looking down at the nut itself, whether it's a hex head or a Phillips head screwdriver or whatever you're using to adjust it, if you turn it right, you're tightening it. Turning it left, you're loosey. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, let's get started with how you read a neck. Let's take a look at your neck. Okay? Sight the neck, holding it by the headstock and pointing away from you towards the pickup area, and sight along the edge of the neck from at the nut all the way down the edge. Okay? Take these individual frets that you see and get them to a point where they're all one big shiny metal highway. Okay? Now we can see directly down the edge of the neck. Now the neck should be fairly straight, but there is some degree of curve, or what luthiers call relief, somewhere at about the 12th fret. So a properly adjusted neck actually is curved a little bit. Perfectly flat neck will buzz out and not sound very good. So when I look at a neck, and the way that we judge or evaluate it is, does it have good clear notes played all the way up and down it, none of them buzzing out, but you still got decent action and relief at the 12th, 13th, and 14th fret position. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do is adjust the truss rod on our guitar now. Alright, remember we've sighted down the neck, and there are two situations you're probably going to encounter. One is that the neck is bowed up, both ends with the middle of it kind of cupped underneath. And you've got a lot of string action height at the 12th fret. Okay? To correct that, what you want to do is find the appropriate tool for your truss rod adjustment nut. And remember the cardinal rule. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, so if we've got a neck that's bowed, we want to tighten the truss rod. Before you do anything to a truss rod, though, the best thing to try first off is to loosen it before you make any tightening adjustments or anything. After you've evaluated the straightness, take it about a quarter turn to the left. Just quarter turn to the left and make sure it's working properly. It allows the nut threads to kind of loosen on their own without a lot of pressure put on it. It'll help you. So, once again, if we've got some bow in the neck and we want to flatten it, righty-tighty, going about a quarter turn increments at a time. If our neck's too flat and things are buzzing, we want to add just a little bit of relief to the neck, lefty-loosey. Do things in small adjustmental increments. Let the wood relax between adjustments. Wood doesn't change form or shape under tension quite as fast as metal does. So it may take 2 or 3, 4 minutes for your neck wood to accommodate itself to the new degree of straightness or curve that you've entered in by dialing in your truss rod. On Gibson style guitars, you'll see a truss rod cover that covers the cavity where the truss rod adjustment nut is accessed. Depending on the model, there will be 2 or 3 screws securing this plastic cover to it, and you'll want to remove those before you go any further adjusting it. Other than that, the adjustment is the same, which is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. When sighting a neck, there's a couple things you need to be kind of wary of because they could be, I don't know, kind of optical illusions. The first thing is don't ever look at the ends of the frets themselves, okay? Because a fret could be beveled on the end slightly differently than its compadres, or it could be notched slightly longer or shorter than. So if you try and line up those edges of the frets as you go down, sometimes there's waves and undulations just simply due to the patterns and the way the ends are finished. So it's real important to disregard that. The other thing that you really want to kind of disregard also is any binding. Okay, what you're really looking for is the true edge of the fingerboard itself. Okay, that's the true measure of how straight that fingerboard actually is. Not the plastic adornment on the side or not the metal accoutrement on top. It's the true edge of that wood surface on the top and the wood surface on the side mating. That's what you're trying to gauge and look at. The other thing is that with acoustic guitars, archtop guitars, and guitars that have a lot of moving parts on the body end, in other words, not solid body guitars, you can see sometimes what we call tongue rise. And all that is that the degree of movement that the fretboard that's attached to the acoustic chamber, the top of the guitar, sometimes will rise up just a little bit. It's a bad thing. So you can have a perfectly nice relief and straight neck from here to here, from 0 to 17, but the last 5 tend to get a little high. Take it to a luthier if that's the point. What you're really looking for is an even degree of curvature along the entire length of your fingerboard. Okay, you don't want waves or twists or roller coastery looking things. It's okay to have a curve. Perfectly flat may or may not be the best thing for your guitar. But the bottom line is that if the neck's adjusted right, the intonation set properly, and the height of the strings are correct, the guitar will play to the best of its abilities. And that's all we're really trying to get out of any of this stuff. So I hope this little primer on truss rod adjustments have helped you. And please feel free to write me if there's any other topics or things that you want to cover. Have a great day, guys.